Hey guys, Jarella here, Grey Wolf TV, and we are back with our Fringe reactions, and we're on to a brand new season, Season 4, Episode 1. Now, the end of the last season was action-packed, full of information, and some of it I didn't quite understand. But, as Fringe has explained itself fully so far as we've gone through these seasons, I'm gonna let it just tell me at some point, because I don't think they're just going to leave us wondering, what about this, what about this. All I can say is, the world didn't end for now. The future that Peter saw has kind of been reset because his consciousness was sent back, and he's punched a hole in both worlds, and now both worlds have like an interconnecting gateway kind of thing. But while he was talking, he vanished. And apparently, the observers have now said Peter no longer exists because he never existed, so they will never remember him. So I'm expecting there to be no more Peter. Or at least, I don't see how there can be. So let's just start a brand new season and see where the hell this takes us. Episode 1, Season 4.
If you can't trust the people you're dealing with, what then? You know, maybe I'm not the problem. Maybe it's you. Maybe you are just incapable of trust. Interesting. Coming from the person who kidnapped me and stole my life.
It is impossible. The timeline has been rewritten. He was erased, and yet traces of him continue to bleed through.
This started with you. It must be you who ends it. They can never know the boy lived to be a man.
I have no idea who they're chasing and why. Don't move. Shit. Whoa. Damn, that was quick.
Robert, he's down! Robert.
Oh, he's dead.
Where's the victim's partner?
That's in there. That's Agent Lee.
Great. Thank you.
He used to know her.
Yes.
Yes. Before things changed.
I'm from Special Division. I'm not at liberty to disclose any more than that. So, the person who attacked your partner, can you describe him?
I couldn't tell what he's doing, but his skin was translucent.
Yeah.
It's like what you see on Robert's face, but more of it.
But we're going to take the remains back to our facility.
That's my partner.
I understand how you feel.
Well, you're some division coming in here and taking over. You won't even tell me who you are?
I can assure you that this case will take...
Have you seen the suspect before?
Do you know who he is?
3, 2, 1.
Who are you people?
What the hell are you doing here?
You shouldn't be here.
There's still a few kinks to work out, but it's a start.
I've spent the last 2 hours going building to building. I am not leaving here without some answers. What division are you in? What are we dealing with here? See, I have a friend at the New York Times who would love to know that there's a division of the FBI operating out of Harvard with a man who can make dead birds fly.
You, it's Broyles.
There's another body. Let's go.
I'm coming with you.
You keep going like this and you're gonna talk yourself out of the bureau.
I was at the first crime scene. Maybe I saw something that I haven't told you yet.
Did anybody see what happened after the crash?
No. But we should have some background on her by now.
Don't let that ham-fist touch her.
If you don't mind holding off a moment, I'd like to just do a preliminary.
Pupils are dilated. That looks like a hematoma on the right clavicle.
And they all said they didn't see anything.
That's right.
One of these things is not like the other.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay, you're not gonna get into trouble, I promise.
I was talking to my boyfriend. I came out to the street to get reception.
Now we have a picture. Nice catch.
Thanks. Imagine what I could do with more information. What are these?
The first one raises your clearance. The second, you're acknowledging you'll be prosecuted if you speak about what we're seeing here. We don't know what happened to them. what he does to affect their skin this way and what the hell he's getting out of this. We assume there must be some common link between the victims, but we can't find it.
Mister, I think I found what you're looking for. Electron gun from a 58 color RCA.
I will take this as well.
Mind my asking what you need all this stuff for?
I need to erase someone from time.
Is he gone?
Who?
The man! Is he gone?
I don't know. I think it's just me and Agent Stone.
There was a man in the mirror, and when I turned around, he wasn't there. I saw him.
Walter!
Is he all right?
Well, it depends on your definition of all right. He's functional, except when he's not. But he is often quite brilliant. He just never had anything to tether him to the world.
I believe it was your idea, Agent Lee, to test each of the victims for iron-related diseases, that they may share that in common. Very clever. Wrong, but clever.
Well, it was just a long shot.
And they're all caused by some form of heavy metal poisoning. Lead, zinc, mercury. Thank you, dear.
And what could that possibly mean?
I don't know, but with 30-odd victims, it's unlikely that it's a coincidence. And something else. The levels of metal in their bodies have returned to normal. It's as if their blood has been cleaned. Finding healthy tissue for experimentation is harder than you might imagine.
You mean you aren't returning these people to their families?
We can't do that.
Why not?
Because we can't disclose how they were killed. The families are informed that they have gone missing, that we will continue to look for them.
You lie to them. Those families are going to spend the rest of their lives wondering what happened to their loved ones.
You were wrong. Pattern's not random at all. 4 kill zones all centered around the commuter rail stations. I lost a partner too. There was an event on a plane, and at first we thought it was terrorism.
So that still happened.
During the investigations, my partner was injured. It affected his skin, like your partner, but different. Even Walter couldn't save him.
Oh, he originally did.
He's been shot. He's gonna bleed out if we don't get him help.
All right, go. Check the warehouse. If he's still here, you don't let him get away. I got this.
Get rid of his files.
Drop it. Drop it.
Jesus, Olivia. Yeah, he's down.
It took. My God.
It's okay. It's all over.
There's more than one.
There's 2 of them. I didn't know there was 2 of them.
Anything?
Nothing that I can make sense of. It's all too badly burned.
I wanted to thank you for releasing Robert's body. I know you must have pulled some significant strings.
That's what the paperwork was.
But I hope that it brings a kind of closure.
Does this remind you of anything?
The storage device.
Biological, mechanical hybrid. These are different. They're human, and for whatever reason, they don't work.
Walter, are you suggesting that these are...
I told you.
Walter.
I told you that man couldn't be trusted. He said this tech isn't from here.
It's from there.
From here? You mean like China?
No.
No. Not China.
Oh my God, his head's gonna go.
Badge number. BMP 122298.
What's this? Like,
What is this?
decontamination?
What's beyond the door?
A Sometimes answers lead to more questions.
Damn right. Oh my god. You've got to be kidding me.
What is it? It was powering a new form of shapeshifters. Shapeshifters? Human shapeshifters. The ones we've encountered before answered to Walternet. You're wondering why I don't trust you.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's me.
From the mirror.
Okay, this is going to take quite a bit of deductive reasoning here. Great episode, but everything's changed. Everything has changed, except Olivia's still there, Astrid's still there, Walter's still there, Brulls is still there. Everything else has changed. Because we are on a new timeline from the consequences of Peter doing what he did and removing himself from history and existence. But he hasn't. Because the observers said at the beginning of this episode, what was it he said? Parts of him still continue to bleed through, he said. And Walter's seen him twice. But he doesn't know who he is, he just says, the man. Because it's just a man to him, he's no idea who he is. So how can that be? I'm confused. And she's just shown Agent Lee, this side, what they actually do. And what the world really is, and that there is another one, and there is two of everything, including two of her, because you could see he was like, he was gobsmacked. Anyone would be when you think you know how the world works, and then suddenly you get told, yeah, you know everything you thought you knew, you were wrong. But these shapeshifters, right, firstly, these shapeshifters were here because of Walternet in the original timeline, and they were machines that were sent through because they could stand going through crossing universes, and they had that little device that enabled them to take on any identity. These ones are hybrid mechanical biological ones that kind of do the same thing, but they don't work properly. And they have that thing that Walter's just pulled out. And is that part of the machine they used? Or is that their storage device and it just looks different? I don't know. Because they're still trying to piece it together as much as we are, because what we knew has changed. And if that is the case, why is Walternet still sending shapeshifters over here when we're supposed to be now working together? And the sad part is it's great having Agent Lee in it here, but it's not the same without Peter in it. And Olivia mentioned that Walter stays in the lab. He doesn't like to leave the lab. He even sleeps there. He's never had anything to ground him or tie him to the world, she said. Because he's never had a child. So he possibly here may have never had children, or may have never even gotten married. I don't know, because the timeline has changed so much. But the only thing that's changed is the removal of Peter from the timeline, so everything else should have stayed the same. So more or less all the cases that we originally saw should have still been cases, but some of them may have had a different outcome. She mentioned John Scott and that Walter couldn't save him, but we remember that differently. And anything where it was down to Peter that helped solve that case in particular previously may now have changed because he was never there. There could have been a different outcome. I see what you guys meant when you get to season 4. You're like, everything you know and you remember is going to reset and a lot of it's going to change. You were right, it has. Damn. But I feel as though we do have a new member of the team. We have just seemed to have recruited Agent Lee, which is really weird because now it's exactly the same as over there. But we need to find out what these shapeshifters are doing and why Walton is still sending them, because now he's looking really as the bad guy now, even though before he kind of wasn't. I don't know. I'm confused. And the one last thing is the other observer guy who seems to be in charge told the one that we know, you need to make sure you erase him completely to resolve this issue. And he's built that little machine thing. I'm presuming that's what he was doing at the end, what he was powering up. He was going to make sure he doesn't bleed through anymore. And then he turned the machine off and walked away. I don't think he can do it. That was still a fabulous opening episode. It's just frustrating and annoying that I've watched, 60 odd episodes from the first 3 seasons, and everything I remember now may have a slightly different outcome. We're in the same predicament, in effect, as our team is now, where they remember it one way and we remember it a different way. God damn it. Right. We'll be back for episode 2 very soon, guys. Until then, thank you very much for watching. That was a great opening episode, but it's actually opened the doorway for a load of other things to take place now. And obviously this Peter thing is not resolved. Something more's going to come of that. Maybe we may end up with him back in it somehow, or we end up resetting the timeline again. I don't know. No idea. Right. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, turn notifications on, and you know when I've got another episode of Fringe for you. Till then, thanks for watching. Take care.